The Cowboys blew out the Commanders on Sunday, 44-22, and Dallas's offense was cooking. Dak Prescott threw for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions, while CeeDee Lamb made big plays in his return, 110 yards for him, including a 74-yard catch and run to the end zone. And the Dallas defense finally showed up. The Dallas D forced 2 turnovers, including a pick 6 from Deron Bland. Stephen A. finally back in the building.
Yeah.
You know, Cam kind of called you out yesterday a little bit because, you know, the Cowboys did well on Sunday. But do you really believe that Dallas can win the NFC East?
Hell no. Of course I don't believe that.
Why not? That was coming.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Give it to them. Oh, my God.
It's real fun because, first of all, I want to thank the Dallas Cowboys because they have looked very, very impressive offensively. I have Dak Prescott right now as a leading candidate for league MVP honors, the way that he's playing right now.
He's playing
He's
great.
been absolutely 71% completions, 270 yards a game, all right, 13 touchdowns, no interception, a passer rating of 128 over his last 4 games. He's been sensational, no doubt about it. He's earning his money. He's showing what he does. Let's give props to Jerry Jones from the standpoint you're paying the man $60 million. Jerry Jones' ego wants that man to be successful.
That's right.
You understand? Because he wants that investment justified. You see, and so that offsets letting Micah Parsons walk out of the building. I know exactly how Jerry Jones is thinking. Okay? So we understand that. But Dak Prescott, and then you got cats like Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, give him some love. He's giving you production out of the running back spot. Their offense is prolific. Their defense is trash. We all know this, okay? Their defense is not impressive at all. And you know when you think about what we said about the conversation we just had about Detroit, think about the conversation we just had about Seattle, think about what we've said about the Rams. We know that we can't dismiss the Eagles. Please, you got to overcome all of that. It ain't gonna happen. But I like the conversation. You understand? Because as CC, I keep telling people all the time, see, I don't want you to fall from here. See, I want you up here. I want you up here. I want you up here. You
So you want him to have a little bit of hope. You want a little bit of hope for the Dallas Cowboys fans.
I don't want you falling off the curb.
Right.
I want you falling off the roof.
Yes.
You understand?
Wow.
I want the Cowboy fans. I see him now. No, we're going to Super Bowl next year. Right?
Yeah.
No, we're going to Super Bowl this year. Right? I see it now. I see it. And you hear him talking, and you just feel that their chest is sticking out. Yeah. We got a good team. We can win the NFC East.
Yeah,
Look at it. I see it.
Just did?
I see it. Did you see what we just did? It's all set up. And that's why I was telling Cam and them yesterday, just be patient. Just wait. I ain't been wrong in 29 years. Okay? And it's going to be 30.
Well,
and it's going to be 30. And just wait for it. It's going to come. Just be patient. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, Stephen A., the question wasn't, can the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl?
They can win the NFC.
Can they win the NFC
And I said,
East?
well, listen, I'm not feeling that.
Well,
I'm not feeling that because of their defense. Seriously, because of their defense.
Well, okay, Stephen A.
But offensively, they can beat anybody. They can beat anybody.
The defense isn't great, but the defense was better on Sunday against the Commanders.
Are we going to ignore that McLaurin wasn't out there, or Brown wasn't out there, Deebo Samuel's out there? We just going to ignore that the 3 primary weapons for the Washington Commanders were all gone? We just going to ignore that, CC?
Stephen A., Terry McLaurin ain't played in a while now. So, I mean, I understand we're using that excuse. I get where you're going. But the defensive line still had 4 sacks on Jaden Daniels. They still knocked out the opposing quarterback, and they still had a pick 6.
Well, if you ain't got nobody to throw the ball, the pick 6 for Mariota, really? That's what we doing?
I mean,
that's what we doing?
That's what we doing?
It still counts.
Oh, that's what we doing? I mean, it still counts?
It still counts.
Is it in the box score? Is it on the scoreboard?
That's what we doing. It's in the box score.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
But here's the thing, Stephen A. DeMarvion Overshown, their standout linebacker, he's now in his window where he can return to practice. They're expecting him to be back in November.
And he can ball.
That's a huge add. And here's the deal. The Dallas Cowboys just have to keep from discounting themselves before the trade deadline, because if this team can hover right where they're at, be around 500, and have Dak and that offense playing the way that they're playing, then Jerry Jones can be validated and continuing to invest in this team by trading for a piece for the defensive side of the ball. Remember, after the Micah Parsons trade, Jerry said with that draft capital that he was willing to add to this team this year. It wasn't about it just being a move for 2026 and beyond. He said he would invest in this team this year. They got a road game against the Denver Broncos and then at home against the Arizona Cardinals. If they can split those games going into their bye week in the trade deadline, I don't expect this Dallas Cowboys team and this defense to remain as constituted. Last thing, the NFC East in the last 2 decades hasn't had a repeat champ. Right. And the Dallas Cowboys offense is the most dominant unit in all three phases of football of any team in that division.
For sure.
I will roll with the Dallas Cowboys having a chance to win the NFC East off of that alone.
Wow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked by you as well because I thought you was going to slow play this. I thought you would just let it be. I'll absolutely try to encourage the Cowboy fans to buy in more.
They're at that point now. I don't have to do that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have to do that because they're at that point. They're already in there. They're already in there. They're already
stirred up.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Because I'm on the same thing with you. Defense wins championships, and I think offenses, although as good as Dallas's offense is, and I do think Dak is on MVP level, I think they are lights. I think Javonte Williams has done. Their offensive line is good, and they've been banged up, and they're still good.
The Cowboys can run the ball better than the Eagles can.
That's true.
Right.
But that don't make any sense.
But here's the problem.
It doesn't.
That don't make any sense.
I'm with you on that one. I can't understand that.
I don't understand that.
At some point, the ball doesn't bounce your way offensively. You're not going to get, you know what I mean? And so it's going to get cold, or you're going to have bad days. It's not, Dak's not going to be or the receiver's not going to, it's going to hit a hand, get tip ball, whatever it is. I just think at some point you have to rely on your defense. Now, I will say this. I love the fact that there's reporting that Schottenheimer, their head coach, went into the defensive meeting rooms this week and were just like, listen, be aggressive. And they were more aggressive this week than they had been. Play more man, bring more heat, whatever you got to do, because at least if we give up a big play, we're putting the ball back in Dak's hand. But instead of the 6 or 7 minute drive that they punch in late, and it's just like defeating for your team, right? Because now you gotta speed up your offense. I just think it's really, and I've played on some of the best offenses in NFL history. It is really hard to stay that efficient throughout 17 games because you're going to run into some buzzsaw defenses. And like I looked at their schedule, like you said, they come off that bye and they play the Raiders, so that's a big. But then they go
a bye week.
Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants, right? Like that's not a. Their offense is going to have to carry them, and I'm just not sure because their defense against those matchups is going to be tough. I just think it's going to be a tough.
I want to say this too. Let me just veer left and say this about the Washington Commanders. They've messed up their season. I mean, a lot of bad luck has run their way. You move on from Brian Robinson Jr. Austin Eckler gets hurt, and he's lost for the year, week 2, torn Achilles, right? I'm just looking at this. Jaden Daniels, he's missed a couple of games this year.
You
got all three receivers out.
But let's not forget how they handled the Terry McLaurin contract negotiation. Him missing time in the preseason and the correlation to not being acclimated to football, being injured early on.
Exactly, because that's where the quad injury comes from. So it's like, he's missed 4 games already. They really messed stuff up. They took. The Washington Commanders should be a lesson for a lot of NFL teams out there. They took for granted what happened last year. You had a rookie who established himself as a star, and you thought you could play games, because you had that security blanket. They've messed up the season. I'm blaming their front office for what has happened to the Washington Commanders this season more so than anything else. Because like you pointed out with Terry McLaurin, the negotiations, you got to take into account, y'all know this better than me, you got to take into account being in football shape, being in a proper condition, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, doing everything you can to maximize to your potential and have yourself ready. And they let business get in the way of business. And now it's messing with them on the football field.
It's disappointing for sure. And Daniels being injured again. Look, he and Drake May, they're the most fun quarterbacks to watch. But, man, you hold your breath every play.
Right.
Because they'll put themselves in harm's way, man, take unnecessary shots to get the ball, and ultimately your body pays. I mean, availability at the quarterback position is a must, and him being banged up, it's just hard to get rhythm when your starting guy can't be there.
Jeff, I might need you to check his cup of coffee.
It's got a little something in it.
Listen, it's actually a take that I agree with. Is it the medicine that the Bills gave? It's actually a take that I agree with. He had a take that I actually agree with.
Coming up, is this finally year the Knicks win the East? Find out if Stephen A. is still seeing orange and blue skies.
Is CC in on this segment? I want him out of here.
Oh, yeah,
I want him out of here. The blast be coming out of his mouth.
At the box speed bump last night, but are they still high on Tampa and the NFC, especially with Mike Evans being sidelined? Those stories are coming up.
They just set right for me, CC. I'm looking like a chipmunk.
It is a little bit chipmunk.